Facebook Live event. I want to talk to you a little bit today about the immune system and also about elderberry and how elderberry relates to the immune system. And I want to tell you about the really good news about elderberry. I want to talk to you about the really bad news about elderberry. And then I want to talk to you about the really, really, really bad news about elderberry. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about our immune system. The immune system is, I would say about 70 to 80% of it resides in the intestinal tract. And it's there to protect our health because it can respond and destroy viral infection, what we are going through right now with COVID-19, bacterial infection, and fungal infection. So we need to have a healthy immune system. But really nobody, experts included, are talking about a healthy immune system and a healthy body. Everybody's waiting for a drug or a vaccine. I personally believe my immune system is equally as effective as a vaccine. In fact, I think it is my vaccine. It's there to destroy pathogens. It has the tools to do it. Only we need to take care of our immune system. So we need essentially 4 vitamins, 2 minerals to maintain a healthy immune system. And without those, or even just one missing, and we need them daily, we do not store those nutrients in our body. In fact, one of the vitamins is vitamin C, and that only stays in the body maybe 4 or 5 hours, at least no more than a day. Zinc is one of the minerals. And if we aren't getting zinc every day, within 2 weeks, our storage of zinc in our body is already depleted. So we need these essential vitamins and minerals to build up and restore the function of our immune system. But now there are really other good things as well, like botanical medicines. Elderberry. It's a berry that grows in Austria that supports our immune system in another way, because the nutrients in elderberry, the anthocyanins, actually prevent the uptake of the virus into the cellular level. It inhibits and blocks it from entering the cell and residing in the cell and connecting and hooking on to the receptor sites. So it doesn't stay in the body. But we can't only just depend on elderberry, and I think some people are doing that today without thinking about all the vitamins and minerals that also are required. So we need a package of all those together. I like my package. I do elderberry along with those other 4 vitamins and minerals, and that gives me a complete complex of nutrients for my immune system. Now, why did I say, well, that's the good news, but then why did I say there's some bad news? Well, everybody is thinking about elderberry that has any knowledge about health and nutrition and the immune system and infection. So it's one of the go-to ingredients to support the immune system. In fact, it's gone up 116% in the last year in terms of volume of sales. But unfortunately, this year, 2020, there is a greater demand for elderberry, unfortunately, than there is for a supply. We're going to be running out of elderberry, I would say, within the next 1 or 2 quarters. This year, there was a very poor crop of elderberry grown in Austria. Now, maybe it's been worldwide. I have about 150 berry bushes, not elderberry, but aronia berries, which are very, very healthy for the heart, planted in my backyard, and I usually get a ton of berries. So many more that I can even pick. This year I did not get 1 berry on 150 bushes. And I've heard that from other people too, talking about cherries. They have a very poor cherry crop, berry crop, and elderberry crop. So some people are only getting a very small portion of elderberry when they were accustomed to getting a very large volume of elderberry that would last them out through the year, and the demand is still going up. So it'll probably go up to 150 to 200%, who knows? But elderberry does have a really pronounced effect on helping the immune system. Now, the really, really, really bad news. Well, when you don't have enough to supply the demand, people make up the supply. And by that I mean they cheat. There's some really, really bad cheaters out there that are using things that are not elderberry. They make it look like elderberry powder, but it's not. And yet they're selling it as elderberry. A very good natural food company did a 25 product study. They bought products online, Amazon, off of store shelves, and they analyzed those products for the elderberry content and other nutrients that were also on the label to see if they were actually in the product itself. So many of the products did not comply to the label contents, did not comply to what they claimed it to be, so they were already cheating. They were saying it has X number of milligrams of elderberry, and it was maybe a half of that or a third of that. They were putting less in to make their supply last longer. They were cheating. But then you got to the really, really bad cheaters. They were putting in black rice powder because elderberry is purple, almost black. So it's a really dark, rich color, beautiful color. So they wanted to look like elderberry, so they used black rice powder, and that would somewhat get a dark, rich color too as well. But it didn't have the elderberry value. Now some of that even gets worse than that. There was one product on Amazon that was purchased, and it contained a number of milligrams of elderberry, vitamin C, and vitamin D. Now when they analyzed it, here's some really, people, if you're shopping online, you have to be careful. Because if you're not familiar with what you should be looking for, you may not be getting what you want, hoping that you are buying something that is a 100% pure, high quality product. But if you're not really accustomed to the health food industry or what you're buying, because, hey, you heard about elderberry from your neighbor next door. So you go online and say, hey, elderberry here, $3.95. Wow, this is a good deal. I'm going to buy it. What are you buying? Do you know? Well, here's a good example of that. As I was saying before, elderberry is almost black. The powder is black, rich colored, beautiful color. But this capsule that was in the bottle of elderberry extract, vitamin C and vitamin D, the powder was white. Now, here, some people are buying this product. I mean, they would not be out there selling the product, making money off of something that doesn't even work anymore. And they analyze the product, and the powder is white. No vitamin C, no vitamin D in the product at all. So you got to be very careful what you buy. So what was in the product? After analyzing the product, it was oat, O-A-T, oat fiber, which is white, has no value, no vitamin C, no vitamin D. And you know, I don't care how cheap your product you're buying, how much you're spending is still being wasted. You've lost money. The best thing to do is I would go into a health food store. And they have staffs there that know this inside and out. They would never be fooled by bringing a product into their store and putting it on their shelf if it was white. They would see all through that. So when you buy online, you don't have anybody to talk to. You don't have anybody to ask questions to. You can't return the product easily. So you really need to think about, if I'm going to be buying something, I'm certainly going to go down to the health food store and ask what product would they recommend. And they'll give you the best recommendation of a high quality product because they're interested in your health. Is Amazon interested in your health? I don't think so. I don't think they're there thinking about, what if Mrs. Johnson sends us the order for one of our products, we got to make sure she gets a great product. They don't care. They just sell products. They're the bridge between anybody selling a product, quality product or an inferior product. They're there to sell the product. and to make money on that product that is being sold. And they're not there responsible for the quality of the product. So you have to be very careful what you buy. Elderberry is a phenomenal product. Now it's going to be running out. I know it won't make the full year. And I hope that the crop, because the crop is every fall. So somewhere next year, 21, I hope we have an abundant crop. And usually after you've had a really inferior crop, the next year is usually a bumper crop. So let's see what comes in next year. But in the meantime, there are other herbs that have a tremendous impact on the immune system. And I have my two favorites. Andrographis. 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 It's an Indian herb, Indian plant, and has a very powerful effect on the immune system. Upper respiratory tract infections, cold and flu. If you take Andrographis and you do it at the onset of the cold, if you wait too long before you act, it's harder to get rid of a cold and flu. But if you do at the moment you feel something, oh, I'm not feeling good, I think I have a cold coming on or I have the flu coming on, start then. And if you start then, usually you will shake that cold within about 3 days. So it lowers the duration or the severity of the cold. You'll get over it much faster. Again, somebody else that doesn't take Andrographis, and their cold might last anywhere from 7 to 10 days. Andrographis, upper respiratory tract infection, liver function, cold and flu, kidney infection. It has so many great values, and it's easy to take. It's called the king of bitters. It's a very, very bitter herb. So you wouldn't drink it. You wouldn't eat it. You have to take it in capsules or tablets. But even in tablets, some people say put it on their tongue. Ooh, that's so bitter. So it's best to get it in a capsule form where you don't have any taste abilities, and you just swallow it. But it gives you tremendous benefits. It's about I would say about all of the Ayurvedic medicines in India, about 50% of those formulations contain Andrographis. The other one is propolis. I love propolis. It has a very powerful effect on all types of pathogens. I like to label it as a multi-antimicrobial. It works on all forms of pathogens. And it's very, very safe for kids. And why I like it for kids is because it's so safe that they'll never have a complaint about it. And it's very, very good for ear infection. One of the things that most adults, parents, take their child to a doctor, they have ear infection, some even put tubes in. Well, this works great on kids with ear infection and all kinds of cold and flu, herpes, cold sores and fever blisters, herpes 2, and the genital herpes. It works on all of these kind of viral infections. So you have options. Elderberry is great. I love it. Andrographis, superior. Propolis is phenomenal, especially for kids, infants. I just ran across a lady that I've been talking to for about 2 or 3 years. She asked me 2 or 3 years ago, my daughter has 2 children, they're 2 and 4. They're constantly in the doctor's office with colds and flus and ear infection. What can I do? I said, well, I would talk to your doctor about allowing your daughter to give them propolis. And they did. And over the 2 or 3 year period, she said they have never been back to the doctor since then. Works fantastically for all kinds of infection. So you have some choices. Elderberry, Andrographis, propolis. Great. Any one of those or all of them. It's just, well, since I'm in the business, I take all of them anyway. I think they're really, really good. And I've read so much about them. When I do my programs, I do a tremendous amount of scientific research on these various herbs. And it is phenomenal for you. So I like it. I want to make sure that my immune system is strong, but don't just take propolis. Don't just take Andrographis. You have to have the vitamins and minerals that actually have been proven scientifically that the immune system requires. So with that, my friends, I'm going to wrap up this program, but I want to remind you that I'm Terry Naturally. I have a website called terrytalksnutrition.com. I have a radio show every Saturday and Sunday, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can listen via the computer. Go in, we live stream the radio show to the computer. If you want to be live, you just have to change your times wherever you are to be on the same time we are here in the centrally located time of the Midwest. With that, if you have any questions, you can also go to my website and you can click on Ask Terry and give me your question, and I'll get back to you with an answer. So I'm only here to help you understand more about your health and nutrition and to give you the best advice I possibly can. So with that, my friends, God bless you and God bless America.